Elemental Living, Deriving Balance from Ancient Philosophy and Modern Psychological Practice, researched and written by Joseph Kelly. Chapter 17, Love, Strife, and the Dance of the Elements, exploring Eros and Eris. The ancient Greek worldview, with its rich tapestry of mythology and philosophy, offers a compelling lens through which to understand the dynamic interplay of the elements. At the heart of this understanding lie the powerful figures of Eros and Eris, deities who embody the fundamental forces of attraction and repulsion, of unity and separation, that govern the relationships between the elements. These primordial powers are not merely mythological figures frozen in time, but represent the very principles that shape the cosmos and the human psyche alike, driving the perpetual dance of creation and dissolution, harmony and discord that characterizes existence. Eros, often associated with love, desire, and harmony, is the force that draws the elements together, creating bonds of kinship and connection. He is the irresistible pull that seeks to unite disparate entities, bridging the gaps between them and weaving them into intricate tapestries of relationship. In Earth, Eros is seen in the way that gravity, that unseen hand of attraction, draws disparate particles of Earth together, forming solid masses, sculpting mountains, and shaping continents. It is present in the way that crystals form, atoms aligning in harmonious, repeating patterns. Psychologically, Eros is the desire for stability and groundedness. It is the quiet contentment of a stable home, the deep satisfaction of a job well done, the enduring connection with the land that sustains us. In fire, Eros is evident in the way that flames merge and intensify when brought together, leaping and intertwining in a passionate embrace, and in the way that fire seeks union with air to propagate, expanding its reach and influence. Psychologically, Eros is the passion that seeks connection with others, the desire for shared experiences that ignite our souls, and the longing for a sense of purpose and belonging. It is the spark of inspiration that leaps between individuals, the shared flame of a common cause, the burning desire to create and transform the world around us. In air, Eros is apparent in the way that breezes merge to form great winds, flowing together in a unified movement, and in the way that sound waves resonate and amplify when in harmony, creating symphonies of breathtaking beauty. Psychologically, Eros is the desire for intellectual connection, the longing for shared understanding that transcends the limitations of individual perspective, and the need for open and clear communication in relationships. It is the meeting of minds in stimulating conversation, the shared laughter at a clever joke, the profound connection forged through the exchange of ideas. In water, Eros is manifest in the way that droplets join to form streams, and streams merge to create rivers that flow into the ocean, all drawn together in a unified movement towards a common source. Psychologically, Eros is the yearning for emotional intimacy, the longing for deep merging with another, and the desire for compassion and empathy in relationships, creating bonds of profound connection and understanding. It is the silent understanding between lovers, the shared tears in times of sorrow, the unspoken language of the heart that transcends the limitations of words. Eris, often associated with discord, strife, and chaos, is the force that separates and differentiates the elements, creating distinction and individuality. She is the necessary counterpoint to Eros, the force that prevents the universe from collapsing into a homogeneous mass, ensuring the vibrant diversity and dynamic tension that characterize existence. In Earth, Eris is seen in the way that geological faults create separation and division in the Earth's crust, shaping distinct landscapes and preventing the planet from becoming a uniform sphere. It is also present in the way that erosion breaks down solid masses into individual particles, constantly reshaping the world and preventing it from becoming a static, unchanging entity. Psychologically, Eris is the experience of boundaries, limitations, and the awareness of separateness that defines individual identity, creating a sense of self that is distinct from the world around it. In fire, Eris is evident in the way that fire consumes and differentiates fuel, transforming it into ash and smoke, and in the way that fire seeks to expand and differentiate itself from its surroundings, asserting its own unique identity and energy. Psychologically, Eris is the experience of anger, assertion, and the drive for individual expression that can lead to conflict, creating the necessary tension for growth and change. In air, Eris is apparent in the way that air masses of different temperatures and pressures create storms and turbulence, generating dramatic displays of atmospheric power, and in the way that different ideas and perspectives can clash, creating intellectual debate and the challenge of differing viewpoints. Psychologically, Eris is the experience of intellectual disagreement, the need to defend one's perspective, and the awareness of differing viewpoints that can lead to new understandings and intellectual growth. In water, Eris is manifest in the way that currents and tides create divisions and separations within the ocean, generating diverse marine ecosystems, and in the way that emotional boundaries define individual identity, preventing us from being overwhelmed by the feelings of others. Psychologically, Eris is the experience of sadness, grief, and the awareness of loss and separation that can lead to isolation, but also to a deeper appreciation for the preciousness of connection and the importance of self-care. It is the recognition of our emotional vulnerabilities, the setting of healthy boundaries in relationships, the understanding that we must sometimes let go in order to move forward. Eros and Eris are not opposing forces in a simple duality, locked in a perpetual struggle for dominance. Instead, they are two aspects of a single dynamic process, two faces of the same coin. They are the driving forces behind the perpetual dance of the elements, the cosmic ballet of attraction and repulsion that shapes the universe. Creation. Eros draws the elements together, forming harmonious combinations and complex structures. It is the force that guides the elements to find their natural affinities, creating stable compounds, intricate organisms, and breathtaking works of art. Destruction. Eris separates these combinations, breaking down structures and returning the elements to their individual states. It is the force that dissolves what has been created, releasing the elements to form new combinations and preventing the universe from becoming a static, unchanging entity. Transformation. This process of creation and destruction is not chaotic but transformative. Eris's disruptive influence creates the conditions for new and more complex forms to emerge through Eros's unifying power. It is in the interplay of these two forces that the universe finds its dynamic equilibrium, constantly evolving and transforming itself in an endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. This dance of Eros and Eris is evident in weather patterns. The interplay of warm and cold air masses creates storms, dramatic displays of atmospheric power, but these storms are essential for distributing moisture and energy, leading to a more balanced and fertile environment. Volcanic eruptions. The Earth's internal pressure builds until it erupts in a fiery explosion, a dramatic release of pent-up energy. But this eruption releases energy and creates new land, enriching the soil and providing new opportunities for life. The water cycle. Evaporation separates water from the earth, transforming it into an invisible vapor. But precipitation returns it in a life-giving cycle, nourishing the land and sustaining all living things. Human relationships. Attraction brings people together, forming bonds of love and friendship. But differences can create conflict and disagreement. However, navigating these differences, honoring individual needs while fostering connection, can lead to deeper understanding, stronger bonds, and more meaningful relationships. The dynamic interplay of Eros and Eris is not just a cosmic phenomenon. It also manifests within the human psyche, shaping our inner world and influencing our relationships with ourselves and others. Eros is the drive for connection, intimacy, and belonging. It is the part of us that seeks to form bonds, to merge with others, and to create harmony within ourselves and in our relationships. It is the yearning for love, the desire for friendship, the longing for a sense of community and shared purpose. Eris is the drive for individuality, self-expression, and autonomy. It is the part of us that asserts our needs, desires, and boundaries, and that resists being subsumed by others. It is the need to be true to ourselves, the courage to stand up for what we believe in, the drive to create our own unique path in life. A healthy psyche requires both Eros and Eris, both connection and individuality. Too much Eros can lead to a loss of self in relationships, a blurring of boundaries, and an inability to assert one's needs. It can manifest as excessive people-pleasing, a fear of conflict, and a tendency to prioritize the needs of others over our own. Too much Eris can lead to isolation, alienation, and an inability to connect with others. It can manifest as chronic conflict, a difficulty in compromising, and a tendency to prioritize our own needs at the expense of others. Form meaningful connections without losing ourselves. Express our individuality without isolating ourselves. Navigate the inevitable conflicts of life with both compassion and assertiveness. Embrace both the unity and diversity of existence, recognizing that both are essential for our wholeness and well-being. Understanding the interplay of Eros and Eris can provide valuable insights into your own life and relationships. By becoming more aware of these forces, you can learn to identify when Eros or Eris is dominating your thoughts, feelings, or behaviors. Recognize the push and pull between these forces in your relationships. Are you and your loved ones struggling to find a balance between closeness and independence? Find healthier ways to express both your need for connection and your need for individuality. Cultivate greater balance, harmony, and dynamism in your inner and outer world. Here are some questions to consider. In your relationships, do you tend to prioritize harmony at the expense of your own needs, or assert yourself at the expense of connection? In your creative endeavors, do you find it easier to collaborate or to work alone? How does this reflect the interplay of Eros and Eris in your creative process? How do you experience the balance between unity and diversity in your community or culture? Are there ways you can help to foster greater understanding and appreciation of both? How do you navigate the tension between your desire for stability and your desire for change? By exploring these questions, you can begin to consciously engage with the dance of Eros and Eris in your own life, moving towards greater wholeness, dynamism, and harmony. This conscious engagement allows us to move beyond the unconscious push and pull of these fundamental forces, becoming active participants in the ongoing unfolding of our lives and relationships.